All right, when you're ready, Casino's kicking off things again like he did last week.
Okay. What you're gonna do is you're gonna say, "What up, everybody?"
Yes,
when I say your name, and you're gonna stop. I am then gonna go, and our other co-host, and then guest is gonna go. All right. All right. Cool. So finally, we could get this shit straight.
You, me, guess. I get it.
I'm glad it's not a year.
Questions.
I'm glad it's not a year because it would have been really bad if it took a year. We still didn't get it.
You,
straight.
me, guess. I got you. Say less.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. It's not us saying less. It's you.
What up, everybody, and welcome to the Marvel Snapcast episode 89. Let's go. We're going to talk about a lot of crazy topics today. We got the OTAs. We got Aries review. We got the new season compensation, the crown, and year 2024 of the Snapcast to discuss. I am your boy, your co-host, the top 5 best snappers in the world. Sino, because I snapped that hot fire, you heard? Excuse me. And I repped that power on all day. It was
you breathing
hot.
in smoke. It's so hot.
It was too hot. Let's go. I'm also here with your co-host.
The one and only, the SuperTechGod, with every variant in the game. And of course, with our other co-host, the one and only.
It's Guest Gaming. Hello. Hey, how y'all doing? Sina, you okay there? You need something to drink? You right, man? Like,
yeah. That was
what was that?
Spicy. It was spicy.
I think the Brazil drink got him right here in the back.
I was in Brazil with Guest Gaming, and it was too much.
Yeah, facts. Too much for.
But it's all
facts.
good.
The cachaça just burns. Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Woo.
Yes, it burns because you're wicked. You understand?
Hey. Because you're wicked. Fact.
Because you're wicked. All right. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a great time. It's been a crazy week in Marvel Snap, as Sino just mentioned. We're going to kick things off right with the start. We got the OTAs today, ladies and gentlemen, and we did have some amazing changes and some questionable changes to some of these amazing cards in Marvel Snap. Starting with, of course, Dagger. Now, of course, everybody loves Move, and Move Bounce is probably the best list out there. Dagger is now a 2/2 and gives +2 for each enemy card in that location. Prior to that, 2/0 with +3. And I thought back then when they made that change, Dagger was just unstoppable, but a lot of people don't play Move. It's not the easiest list to play. But those who do play it very well because Dagger did get that nerf. So, Sino, how do you feel about Dagger going up to a 2/2 and only giving +2 power for each enemy card in the location?
What was it prior to this? What was the plus?
2/0 +3.
So it's up 2/2 down a plus. Okay, got it. Pretty fair. I like Dagger though. I don't know if it was worth changing, but I do like it. It's balanced. I don't have a big oh my god, this is no, I don't have any of that for you right now. I think it's pretty fair. It's dope.
Okay. Understandable. Okay. Guess how you feeling about Dagger? I know you don't play a lot of Move either. What's your take?
Well, one of the reasons I don't play Move is the same reasons that most people don't play Move. It's a very difficult archetype to actually truly get down and master. And it's very off-putting to a lot of people for that reason. If it's more than a 2-move combination, a lot of players just say, you know what? It's okay. I'll just play something else instead. But those who put the time into it, Move itself, our friend Timmy, for example, right? He's he loves Move. He's loved Move ever since the game, came out, basically. And it's interesting that it always had this weird connotation to it where you're like, Move's good, but it's hard. So no one's going to figure it out. And then we started seeing,
we'll say an acquired taste, right? It's an acquired taste.
It's a lot of extra steps. Yeah. Why would I work so hard to get 10 power down when I could just go arrow? A lot of players just want to play the easy deck, the simpler deck, because it's a lot more casual, a lot more fun for them in that aspect. But look at it from the other direction, and then you're going, okay, now we have other bounce elements. Then we got Frigga. And then it's just the deck continued to evolve over the last 6 months, roughly, ever since I want to say it was like either like that whole season, Aranya, Madam Web, like, we started getting more and more pieces.
That started it. Yeah.
And then top of Infinite was like, yo, this is broken. But everyone else was like, you know what? It's still too difficult. And then, it's got to be like 4 or 5 months now. Maybe 4 months later. And now people are like, oh, I tried it a couple of times. I think I finally got it. And now more and more people started playing it. And Snap actually recognized that before it got out of hand and cut it off at the bottom right now in a couple of different ways in this OTA. So before it becomes the best deck in the game everywhere, like it has been in, the higher end of Infinite for the last couple of weeks, months, essentially, they said, you know what? Hold on. That was fun for all of you who got to enjoy it, but it's bad if we let this go too crazy. And that's what this is. They're cutting the ceiling off of it. It's not going to kill the deck, but it is going to prevent, Dagger specifically from being sometimes upwards in the upper 20s, lower 30s by the end of the game, yet alone with Frigga having 2 of them. So this was a very good call out by them to recognize and for them to finally recognize as second dinner, hey, this could become a problem. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah, that's fair. And now she no longer works with Ravonna, making her 1 cost, and then Frigga just having a blast. So we totally get that. Yeah. Now we go to Aranya, who is also a 1/1. Now she's a 1/2. And before she gave +2 power when the card moved to the right. Now they took away that and made it a +1, move the card to the right. So as you can see with the wonderful changes, they're basically going around and just deducting and adding, right? Just like Sino said for the other card, same thing here. Added power, deducted what power it puts out. So to me, I don't think this changes anything crazy. People use Aranya just for that move element anyway, or do something cool like connect it with Symbiote Spider-Man, whether it be a Black Panther or a Galactus. So I think the activate portion is what people cared about the most versus just the +2 power. So for me, I think this is okay. Aranya, totally fine, making it a +1 and getting additional power. Sino, your take.
See, now I feel different about this card than I do about Dagger. I don't know why, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I feel like the +2 power is what made this appealing. So giving it +1 power in stat line is cool, but I don't think that's, like you said, Tech, that's not what we're playing Aranya for, right? We're playing Aranya for that +2 and to work into our favor with our move strategy or whatever type of other strategy you're trying to do. So I think this, in fact, I don't like this. This one rubs me a little bit the wrong way just because I like the whole purpose was the +2. So it's like, I think it loses a little bit of appeal when they took it down to a +1, because you get the +1. Maybe the main objective here is to move the card. I get it, but like, I think the +2 is just better. I think it loses a little appeal now.
Okay, I agree. Guess your take on the entire thing.
I think, like, feeding exactly into what you're saying, Sino, I think that's exactly why they did what they did, because this was the old version was basically a cheaper forge with a downside versus a move card with an upside. And this is very specifically, like, if you look in the construct of move bounce, where this is, ideally the best home for it, the best target for it is Human Torch. And 1 extra power on Human Torch in that movement, the ceiling again is just getting brought down. It's just saying, instead of you getting to 96, 48, 24, like these nice, even, beautiful numbers, it's cutting off, 16, 8, 4 off of the top of each movement. That's a lot of power long term, because I think the purpose of what this card was supposed to be was the movement first, the power second, because you want it to be, it's a spider, play. It was that part of that whole season supposed to be about move. But we were also seeing Aranya in a variety of other use cases as well. And I think that kind of really reigns strong on what the power of this card actually could potentially be long term. I think that the movement of this going down to having only a +1 factor reduces its uses in other decks, and in the move bounce deck in particular, it just takes exclusively the ceiling off of Human Torch. So they hit the dagger side, that's fine. They hit the Araña Human Torch side, that's fine. But because you almost always wanted to try to get your Araña on one into getting the first movement of Human Torch right away. That was always the play.
Right away.
Now,
and then trying to bounce it back.
Exactly. And then try to bounce back the Human Torch. Now it's less about that, and you feel more comfortable waiting because it's only the +1 power that, you know what, maybe I'll just save this instead for the dagger or the vulture later on.
Yeah, the vulture,
and it makes it what the card probably should was targeted to be specifically when it came out, which is let me move this and here's a bonus, versus the latter, which is let me give you this and then move it
and then move it. Yeah.
I think this is a good call for that deck as well. I'm happy to see how they've decided to address it.
No, I totally agree with that. And you're right, because I think, again, for me, I play it, and most people I see play it was not for the move decks, but more so the symbiote Spider-Man, Galactus, Panther, get it out the way. And then, so to see it now like this, I think we'll see it more in move decks, more so than anything else. Yep. So I'm happy that change happened. Then we go to a card I don't want to talk about because I don't have every variant for it. We'll go on to the next one, which is Nomura. So now Nomura is...
Whoa. What are you doing?
Whoa.
Spectrum is a honor veil. It gives +2 power for all ongoing cards. It was a 6/6. It is now a 6/7. Why? As we mentioned before, what Second Dinner loves to do is buff cards by 1 power or deduct it by 1 power to allow us to get that kind of feeling to go, oh, we should play this now, because 6/7 is way better than 6/6. So I think we'll see a lot of Spectrum going on, especially as the new season come along with all the new ongoing cards. So this change to me, I think, was well needed, because to me, I don't play Spectrum at all. Not because I don't have the variant. I just feel to give that +2 power to ongoing, I could do a whole lot more with less. So now for it to be 6/7, we'll probably see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm going to play Spectrum now. And of course, those people who are just starting in the lower collection levels will be happy to see this change. So, your take on Spectrum.
I do agree with you as far I don't play much Spectrum, and not because, like I don't have the variant or I just said I feel like she's a very mid card. I feel like she's a card that you use coming up in the game. And as soon as you get a lot of other cards, you get Series 3 complete, you tend to veer away from Spectrum because she's just a card that's set for early players. I do like the 6/6 to the 6/7 because that kills the stigma of the 6/7 of the 7 power. Cards that were generally 7 power before were getting nerfed down or getting increased or getting changed. This 7 was a super stigma, like it just wouldn't live. But now you see a lot of cards are being changed to 7 power. So it's or coming out as 7 power. So it's killing that stigma. I like that. I like the increase. I think like you said, it's great for early players. I like that she gives +2 to ongoing now. So there's a perk there. So she's really, in some situations, she can be a 6+ whatever, depending on how much ongoing you have out there or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever you proc her up.
Right.
She has that appeal. So great. Awesome.
Right. Guess what's your take for this change of the wonderful Spectrum?
I remember a day where it was like the middle of last year, where Spectrum decks were the best deck in the game. It was the Ms. Marvel season. And a lot of ongoing was kind of like cut off at the knees. And now, like you mentioned, we're projected to head into another ongoing focused season.
Yep.
And they buff her back up again to kind of really help push ongoing once again. So I'm going to tell y'all now, if you don't have Echo, now's a great time to pick up Echo.
Mrs. Top 5?
Stand by. Mrs. Top 5. We don't call her Echo here. We call her Mrs. Top 5.
All right, call the Mrs. Top 5 into your decks more and more and more, because you're going to start seeing a lot more ongoing cards. So, and if you don't have Echo and you can't obtain it, that's fine. There's the classics, there's Enchantress, there's Rogue, there's other counters.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. But that Echo is dangerous. She's invisible. People tend not to see. Yeah, you do not see her, especially with the Maria Wolf variant where it's all like black. It's very hard to see.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
just don't care. That's why
people
they disrespect her until it slaps their Iron Man. They go, Iron Man. Yes.
Yep. So good effect. I love that effect.
Yeah. So we go on to Nomura. Oh, you're done, right? Sorry,
I guess I am.
You off. Right, cool. No problem. On to Nomura, because we were supposed to talk about Spectrum anyway. On to Nomura, which is a on reveal. Give +5 power to each card alone at its location. Now, Nomura goes well with cards like Scarlet Spider and Lasher and all these other cards that benefits from getting that extra +5 so you could do something else with it afterwards. Nomura was being played, but not that much. But now she's going to be a 5/7 again. That's 7 power, just creeping on up there. And that's because the game has changed, as we mentioned before, in all the podcasts we speak about. These cards are getting stronger. They're more powerful. Cards like Sage and now Aries and all the other cards can get to that high ceiling. You need these lower cost cards or these older cards to be able to compete. And I'm very shocked that Infinite's not on this list yet. I'm very shocked, Second Dinner. I know you guys listen. What is going on? But okay, I'll stop there. 5/7 Nomura. I'm okay with it. Anything I'm okay with it. Casino, let me hear your take.
7, baby. Let's go. Just like I said before, I'm just happy that the stigma on 7 is being killed. And to be honest, Nomura could use a little bit of a buff, even though she was kind of cracked, with the +5. I think Nomura was being used way more than Spectrum. I think it's fair to say that. But I do love the strategy, and especially her paired with Wong and then proccing cards. It's King of Ridiculous, and it helps in the Galactus deck too, right? So, I'm loving this. I'm loving the 7s out here. Let's go.
Fantastico. All right, guess your take on the wonderful Nomura.
Yes, Nomura. Yes, you have to add the at the end. I mean, I think that Nomura's time still isn't, going to appear because of this, because right now, the whole meta of the moment is not spread 3 lanes and hope. It's scale 2 and kind of forfeit 3rd. And Nomura getting this specific buff of only her, not how much she dishes out, I think that's kind of leaning towards the 3 lane protection versus the 2 lane attack. And I'm not thinking that this is going to be the way that Nomura becomes super broken, but it's nice. It's a nice thing. I just, I guess the way I look at it is, unless if the whole deck is revolving around her, you're really not playing Nomura for any reason. I'd rather play Gamora instead of Nomura for the same 12 targeting.
You got your symbiote Spider-Mans that you can buff up with her. You got your ways of using Nomura.
That's what I'm saying. But many of those decks don't require her, right? A Nomura deck, you can build a Nomura deck, just like you build a Surfer deck, right? It's all about get this out, get it to happen multiple times. That's the whole purpose of the deck. Then there's you could put this into specifically a Galactus deck, and it has its one very forecasted move. You go Symbiote, you go Nomura, you go Galactus, make the thing happen, hope that it's enough. The problem is it's very forecasted, which is why it's not regularly meta relevant.
It's predictable.
Yeah, it's predictable.
Correct.
So I don't think this changes the cube rate. I don't think this changes the win rate. I don't think this changes the play rate. It's just, if you happen to play it, sure, that's nice.
You get a 5/7 now, which helps more than a 5/6 would have. And you can also play it in Panther also. It can add to that if you don't get your Wong Pulse combination. It's a card that out there that people can use as a tool, right? It's not going to be super defining or help you really win, but it is a second option.
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay. So then again, this is just buffs that we're not mad about, because why not? Just buff the cards. Makes life easier. Now we go to the next card that haven't seen any play for a long time. We used to have a term for it called leadering a card because once leader got nerfed, it was just the worst thing. Leader got changed.
Leader was the best.
I used to say touch. Leader get changed so many times that nobody plays leader anymore. But now you might want to, because he's a 6'4" from a 6'3". He still does the same exact thing, but that extra power, guys, that wonderful, what we call that, Cerebro 4, just got some love. If you're playing, here it is.
Let me steal a card that's going to screw up my entire Cerebro. Really?
Here it is. Oh my gosh. Well, that's how I feel about it. So your take on leader.
Playing Cerebro 4 and then being upset when you bring back cards that are bigger than 4 on your side.
You know what, Cino? I'm proud of you. I'm proud you just said that, bro. You see, you paid attention because I'm clearly not saying the right things. I love that you mentioned that. Good job, Cino. I clearly say it.
Yeah, Cerebro 4, baby. Ooh, I got 10 power. Gone.
Oh, man.
It's a this card is mid. Yeah, it's good for what it does. You know what I mean? But it's nowhere near what it used to be. We all know what it used to be. That triple leader was killing people. But yeah, no, it's a cool card for if your deck is if your deck is pertaining to that. If your strategy is that, then yeah, I guess you can make it work. But I'm not too impressed. I'll be honest with you. I think leader's mid, even with the buff.
Guess your take. How do you feel about the wonderful leader now?
This is a card that we want to have relevant specifically right now to help counter some of these major 10s and things that are playing in Surtur decks. But the problem is you have to have priority, and it doesn't really make it do what you want it to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this is just not that meta. And on top of it, we just talked about move bounce, which is incredibly relevant. That's all combos. Leader doesn't like combos. Leader likes, here's big card. That's great. I had big card plus leader because I took your big card.
On my side.
This is a non-relevant change. And, let's just start the countdown. Okay, it'll be another 3 months and then we'll get another leader change because no one can figure out exactly a good way to make leader consistently good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either too broken or not broken enough. Like it's literally stuck in that awkward place.
I think also the next card we're going to mention, Leader was great when Sandman was his original ongoing self. That's when we used to play things like the Black Sands because you throw out Electro, you get to play your cards early.
That
and then
one card,
Leader on 5, and then you drop Odin on Leader on 6. Your opponent just gets upset. You can't do anything about it. That's when Leader really shined. But right now in this meta, who gives a crap about Leader? And Sandman now got a buff as well. Sandman is now 5'8". The problem here is Sandman is still just an all-on reveal. So, I mean, listen, you could try to pull off the same thing, utilizing Odin, utilizing something like Grandmaster, and, playing Electro early, playing Sandman on 4, playing Grandmaster on 5, playing Odin on 6. I mean, you could do all the craziness, but I don't know if it still matters, right? And for Sandman change, I'm happy he's a 5'8". That's a great stat line for it, but I still believe we're not going to see Sandman. We're not going to see Sandman playing anyway. So, your take. What's your take on Sandman?
First off, my take is what a great fucking transition that was because I had no clue that Sandman was even the next card being talked about. I just thought it was a blatant
I'm focused. I'm focused.
Honestly, yeah, that was smooth. Let's go. Yeah, the drink he drank. Sandman is trash. It's garbage. I miss old Sandman. The old Sandman had a purpose for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was fine. I don't think the change was necessary. The turning cards to cost 1 more. Now, if it costs 2 more, then I'm like, oh shit, that's broken. Like that's crazy. That'll probably make a difference. But I liked when a player was limited. I hated when it happened to me and I was playing bounce or something. And I get why people cried over it, but it had a purpose. It was fine the way they changed it. I believe it was ongoing at first for very OG Sandman, right? It was ongoing at first, was like you could only play one card for the rest of the game. Right? I'm correct.
One every turn.
Every turn. Then they changed it to you can only play one card that turn, right? On reveal. It changed on
No,
the
next turn. The next turn makes it one costs one more.
Next turn, yes, next turn. Yeah, that's what I meant. That was fine to me. I mean, that change right there, it gave me enough. They could make that to what it is now at a 5/8, and I'd be completely happy with Sandman.
Well, that's what it is right now.
No, it isn't. It's still hard.
It's the next turn costs one more. Yeah,
but that's not being able to play one more.
No, he's saying play only one singular card.
Understood.
Yeah, like it was before. If they changed it to a 5/8 and it only did that, I'd be completely happy with it. But now I'm just not. It's not a card that I'm interested in playing. It doesn't have any appeal to me.
I'm with you. Guess you seem like the Sandman sometimes when you're on stream. You start singing those songs, Mr. Sandman. Yep, I hear you. I've heard you do it before. I've lurked in your streams, buddy.
This is true.
So, what do you feel about it?
I actually really like this change because, there's a lot of good 5-cost cards right now. Yeah, there's always been, but even more so, like we see Legion everywhere, for example. And because it's just a generically good. Say again?
I said fuck that card, but
yeah, continue. It's fine. Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you have that under your breath. But like,
oh man,
there's Arrows made a comeback. Iron Man's always been good. There's a lot of good.
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah.
Sarah. Sorry, where is she? I don't see her nowhere. Sorry. I just don't see her anywhere. That's what I asked the question. Have you seen her?
No.
Nobody, right? This is crazy. Where's Sarah, guys? Oh my goodness.
Turn 5 is very much so about let turn 5 be, right now nowadays be the standout turn to either have your setup for combo or big giant game changing card like Arrow, Legion, etc. Right. So I think that this in particular might open up a couple of other doors because move bounces, clearly, as much as the changes in the OTA are meant to target move bounce, and this is very much so a targeting to move bounce as well. I think it's going to help keep it in check. But the one thing I was thinking about with this that I don't know if I want to share, but I decided I was going to anyway, is I tried to think of, okay, what is the combination of events that you need to see happen that makes this version of Sandman good, right? Because 5/8 is a good stat line. That should not be slept on in and of itself.
Agreed.
Great stuff.
So if you're trying to play 2 cards, that means you're trying to play a 1-cost card and you're trying to play a 3-cost card. So you can play the 2 cards on the final turn of the game without having to do magic shenanigans, and which is always risky. So I'm like, what's one of the best 1-cost cards? Okay, a demon at 1/6, and then what's the best 3-cost card? Gladiator. I'm like, okay, there's got to be a way that we can finagle some kind of Mills Sandman deck that allows you the flexibility of either playing Baron Zemo or Gladiator on 6.
How did he say that?
I know. And then, but the thing is, the demon is the downside, because that means you do have to play a hood and you have to get it down early, and you either have to address it before turn 5, which is normally when you would see Misery and Lady Deathstrike. So I think that there's something here that makes this deck relevant. I know you don't like Miltech. I know you don't.
I don't.
I know you don't. But you're going to try it now, too, because that was the only deck that I was like, the 3-cost cards have relevance because you have to have a 1-cost card kind of work with it, too. Right. You got to have something else in there. I think that there's something to the new Sandman we should be taking a look at, because it's a good counter to a lot of these combo decks.
Of course. No, I totally agree. And with those stats, I totally agree with you. Yeah. Just despise Mel.
That's fine.
But yeah, you're right. A lot of great 5-cost cards. We forgot about Vision. That was your favorite one when we did our
this is true too.
contest. So where's Vision? I don't see Vision. Anymore.
No Vision either.
Vision, no Sarah,
not yet. Yeah. Just wait.
No Red Skull. Like, what's going on, guys? Not falling. I think people just
they're not marveling at it anymore.
Yeah, they want to play the new hotness. Yeah. Speaking of new hotness, I was a big fan of Miss Marvel. One of my favorite cards when it came out. Such a huge fan. Exactly. And I got you, baby. We in there. And Miss Marvel hasn't been played for a long time. But now the 4/5, I know a lot of people are happy to see Cerebro 5 come back. See, this one is a good one for Cerebro. As well.
Sorry.
Miss Marvel always is a great surprise to play on that either final turn or, on that turn behind something. I think we used to play her with what's that one, the super giant, stuff to kind of hide her and pull her out that last turn. Always a great time playing Miss Marvel decks. So I'm happy to see her getting a buff and making that comeback, hopefully, especially in any type of list. How do you feel about this, Miss Marvel back 4-5?
I like Miss Marvel. I really liked her when she first came out. I was having the most fun with Miss Marvel when that card was the original way with just one card in each lane.
Yeah, was the best thing
it was
ever.
so good. Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah.
And ironically, she was a 4-5 at that time, and then they changed her down to a 4-4, which I was upset about because I didn't think it was necessary. I think it just flowed well with 5 in each lane, right? So
correct,
really good. I mean, we had Doom, but then again, Doom was a 6-5, so fair enough. You know what I mean? But like, I just think it was perfect the way it was. The 2 cards is where it gets a little tricky. I get it. Remember, we say balance, right? We say balance. We need balance. So I get it. You have to have 2 cards there now for her to give you that 5 in each and the other lane, adjacent lanes. So I just wish she was the old way, but I'm thankful they gave us the 4-5.
Moonstone works with this card. Am I wrong? 1, 2, 3?
No.
Not 4, right?
No, just not 4s.
Damn, that sucks. All right. Still don't like Moonstone that much. Okay, cool.
It's all right.
I guess how you feel about Miss Marvel?
I mean, people are going to try Cerebro 5. They're going to make it happen. Sure. Great. Fantastic. Cerebro 5 has a chance again. However, I think the bigger play on this card now is it becomes more flexible because it's less dangerous to be targeted by Red Guardian. And Red Guardian is such an incredibly strong card.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it was not, brought down to a 3-2 in this OTI. I'm still shocked. But, the cheaper the card is, the higher probability it could be targeted by Red Guardian later on in the game. And, we're in a points meta. So you could have seen that card come on down. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. But I like seeing 4-5 Ms. Marvel back. It was broken when it came out, when it was just this a singular card as the minimum requirement. Like, that's what made it so broken. But I mean, I'm happy. I have good variants of it, so I don't mind being able to play it again.
That grandma variant's not cool. I don't like that grandma variant.
Yeah, I'll second that. That's just weird.
Yeah,
that's just weird.
She got some awesome variants though. All right, cool. So now we're going to Luna Snow, which was one of my favorite cards in that wonderful season, the rival season. They gave her a buff, guys. So a lot of people felt Luna wasn't as good as they expected to be. I enjoyed her because, again, like I said, I played her with Prof X, Lockdown, Luna Snow. I think is one of the best ones out there. And they gave her an additional power, guys. She is now from a 3-5 to 3-6. That is huge. I'm very happy for this change. One of my favorite change in this OTA. I'm a big fan. Luna Snow, 3-5 to a 3-6.
I love it.
My guy.
I love it. I think she was dope before as a 3-5.
Yeah.
With the extra energy.
Agreed.
Which was a cool way to clog up your opponent's side. Even though if they played there, it would destroy. But it's still like, it was a cool way to get them playing on other lanes and trying to keep that. At the same time, you could you get the extra energy. You help your opponent a little bit. At the same time, it's just a great effect. 3-6 now is cracked. You get a great power stat. It's reasonably cost. Great for a curve. Yeah. Loving this. This is the best one so far. This is the last one, right? So this is the best one out of all the OTAs. I think this one they actually cheated. She's cracked now. Like that, I think they underestimated her from before. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you probably even think about Luna Snow with what's his name now with Sandman, right? Probably that could come into handy. Who knows? Guess how you feel, buddy?
I was a big fan, from the very beginning. I liked Luna. 3-5 was always a good stat line. The downside, of course, is you're giving your opponent that energy as well. I just think that this is still very underrated. And now 3-6 is going to open up people's eyes. You know, like you said at the very beginning, it's going to make people go, ooh, let's play with this toy. And then they're going to realize, wow, this is really good. Like, it got me revisiting an old idea where I'm like, okay, I can play into 2 lanes. Right. Or I can spread the power, I should say, is a better way to word it. I can spread the power however I want early. Get down that Luna, even if it's on turn 4, that's 5. Turn 5, I can Ultron. Because that will then allow a free space to open up because that lane is occupied. So you've still got your 7 power to work with and 2 lanes to put power into. And you just put drones over into other lanes. Like, there's some cool things that can be experimented with. With this, because 3-6 should not be slept on, especially because we're going to see everywhere Luna Snow into your favorite Prof X.
Yep. Prof X. Yep. That's it.
I think she works in a lot of other lists too. I think she's just a versatile card now. And especially at that stat line, she's cracked.
Yeah.
Cracked.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm excited about it. Super pumped about it. Well, nonetheless, it's totally fine, guys. That is the OTAs for January. We go on to reviewing the final card of this okay season. I think it wasn't the spectacular season. We did have start off with a great season pass card going into the card alongside it. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Aries. So now Aries was the final card this season with a wonderful stat line of 4-6. And the ability that, of course, it was on reveal. It compared the power of the top 3 cards of both decks. And if your total was higher, it gave your Aries +6. Now, I'm going to start here and say, I love the animation. Animation is pretty cool both ways. I like the animation when the decks are fighting to pick to see who got the highest number. And I love when you don't have the highest number, he start cursing everything out. I think that's pretty cool. Very interesting. I love to see that animation. Aries have one of the coolest animations. I think every card this season have some of the coolest animations in Marvel Snap. So, yeah. Iron Patriot was great. Victoria Hand, Aries. So I love all the animation. My review for this card, I still believe it's still the best card this season, and I'm still giving it that double platinum. I've had a blast with it, playing it on Conquest, playing it on Ladder. It is still a phenomenal 4-6 card, potentially 4-12, and us getting it to 4-25, 4-24 in most of our games. I really do enjoy this card. I definitely played it with, of course, the War Machine, the Infinite, the Ebony Ma, the She-Hulk, the Magic, that kind of a combo, Grandmaster, being able to get that turn 7 and then drop all your big cards, but still have those big cards in your deck. I didn't have Surtur in there, but I did have the other big cards, and it worked out well. I also tried Guess. Suggestion was using Darkhawk, and that worked out well as well. Throwing rocks in your opponent's deck, and then be able to play Aries, and of course, hope your opponent have those rocks when Aries go ahead and proc off. So, had a good time, had a blast with it. Still my top card of the season. It's either on par or right above Victoria Hand. So, your take on Aries.
Wasn't big on it before, pause. I literally I was very reserved. I thought it was more RNG-ish than it actually is. You did. So I was my initial reaction to it was double gold. I now have changed my mind and have put it not to double platinum, but platinum. I see now, I see now that there are ways to manipulate it to working into your favor, as you said, with the rocks and Darkhawk. There's people playing. I saw a lot of Surtur, like a lot of Surtur, like a lot of Surtur. But I love playing big power. So that Surtur list works for me. You know what I mean? I'm entertained by it. So that's not a negative in my mind. It's actually a positive. It actually helped me boost it up in my mind. But there are a lot of creative ways to get Aries to proc in your favor that I did not really think of or did not really have faith in before, that I saw being played out by on Snap Surfing. I saw a lot of that played out, and I was like, oh, okay, it helped me. It convinced me, oh, okay, cool. This actually has value. This actually has purpose in other things, in other places, and other combinations. So I've changed my mind. I was wrong. Aries is a platinum.
All right. I got double platinum. You got platinum. Guess what is your take on the wonderful card known as Aries?
I was kind of like okay on the card. I thought it was going to be a good card. I didn't know how good. Okay. We knew it was going to be a definite searcher card. That was just inevitable. Everyone knew that that was coming. And
it was.
It was a great, great card inserter. No one was contesting that going into it. No one's contesting it currently. It was the other homes that people were trying to experiment with. So like we were talking about the Darkhawk builds, putting rocks into their deck to lower the chances and lower the totals. That works. It wasn't the best, but it works. I built a deck that was based around buffing my own deck while debuffing their deck. So a deck that was...
Hey, buddy, this is a family show. Okay? Can't be talking like that, man.
I have good diction, fucker.
Okay.
So I was trying a combination of things like playing Cassandra Nova to debuff them, while also playing Fastos and Okoye to buff my own, trying to get like a small advantage in both directions. The consensus on that is that it doesn't matter, because one big card out of those three cards is all you need to end up winning the Aries split. Is you just need one. So as long as you can get the one, those 3 power you took off with Cassandra Nova, that 2 power you took off with Silver Sap, it means nothing. It means basically squat. So if you're going to play Aries, it's about focusing on getting extra power into the cards organically in your deck versus debuffing your opponents. That was the most important thing for me to assess, because then the 3 decks that I found that worked best were Surtur, which everybody expected. Mill worked out great, especially because the later you play it, the stronger it is. Getting all those extra cards out of the way into the hand, whatever, like using Mill was a great way to run it. But my favorite deck that I was not expecting was oddly Drac Dump. It was surprisingly good, because we did a build that was War Machine focused. So we had organically Ebony Maw, Infinite, Cull Obsidian, a lot of these cards that have these high power, but with a restriction clauses in there. And the build I was messing with is probably not even the best build of it. I'm going to change Zabu out of the build because I didn't think it was necessary. I'm going to put in Squirrel Girl just to give me a little more flexibility. And even with that build, I had a 65% win rate. I went up 20 cubes in 23 games. Like, it was a really good build. If you want to mess with it, it's right now it's Zabu, but like I said, I'm going to switch it out for Squirrel Girl. Ebony Maw, Armor, Surtur, Dracula, Aries, War Machine, Cull Obsidian, Arrow, Sasquatch, Scar, and Infinite. And having that flexibility was like, I know it sounds weird to have 4 costs in there, but no Zabu. No. But Zabu did not feel really necessary in that deck in any potential way, shape, or form. It did not hinder me from playing what I wanted to play.
But it only worked out because I did somewhat similar to that. But you having 4 costs, but having Zabu on 1 and then Grandmastered on 2, getting all my 4 costs to be 2 costs was phenomenal. I'm never going to lie to you about that.
But you get it double? Yeah, I can see that.
The rare occasion when you can do that. Instead of you worrying about, maybe I should double Aries. No, if I can make Aries a 2 cost and everything else in there 2 costs, I'm happy. I do miss old Zabu for that, but no, I agree with you. You don't need Zabu in that list. That is the list to play. That is the list to play, though. The War Machine, Dracula Dump, that is the way to go. It's been the most fun. I took a list just like that all the way to game 5 on Conquest in the final match, like round 7, and I lost that match because I was going up against, guess what? You know what? Let's beat the crap. Well, then beat crap on me. It took us all the way to the end. And we lost a mill deck. So it all depends on what Cable took. It all depends on what this guy, what's his name, did. It all depends on what Yandu did. It was just the biggest uphill battle. We beat every other list, and that one took us to the wire. So it's a fun list. I totally agree. Go see what Guest did. Take his list. You guys will have a blast with it.
Damn, that sucks, man. I mean, overall, it is a good card. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a, platinum. solid platinum because it has a couple of homes. And you don't feel bad playing it in those homes on turn 3, 4, 5, or 6, really. So for me, that's flexible enough to say there's a couple of different places you can use this. Have fun, get Aries. I wouldn't use tokens, but if you have keys, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Because Miss Marvel and Misery is both great cards as well. But to wrap this all up, guys, what is your best card this season? I know you guys had your picks. Is it still that card or is it a different card? Mine is Aries. Sino, yours is
Victoria Hand.
Okay, and guess.
Iron Patriot still.
Wow. All right. This is all 3 different ones, guys. In the comments down below, you want to win a Go Pass? Do you want to win a Go Pass? Let us know which one of those 3 you guys agree with, or if you have your own. Leave it down in the comments below. We'll pick a winner. Again, what do you think is the best card this season?
God damn it, Tech.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because of the comment you made earlier about me and Sandman and all this. And then here you go asking about the Gold Pass. And the only thing that pops in my head is, do you want to win a Gold Pass? And I'm like, God damn it, he's right.
Yep, that's what you do. You sing on your stream. I called it. All right, so we're going to can't even continue. The new season of Marvel Snap is upon us. We're going into a wonderful month of February. For those who celebrate, it is Black History Month. We have some amazing Marvel movie coming out, which is Captain America: The Brave New World. I know he got a lot of heat for some things he said, but I'm not going to get into it on this podcast. But definitely, I'm going to go see the movie. Cannot wait to check it out. Nonetheless, speaking of which, Captain America Sam Wilson is the Battle Pass card for this new season. And we're going to dive into that card. We're not going to talk too much on these cards because we're going to save that for when the season actually kicks off. But we'll kick things off again. The Battle Pass card is Sam Wilson, Captain America. Then, of course, we have Joaquin Torres. Joaquin. Okay, Cena can Joaquin. Yes. Joaquin. Like Joaquin Phoenix? Okay.
Yes.
Joaquin Torres.
There you
then
go.
we have Thunderbolt Ross, right? Thaddeus Thunderbolt
Not even
Ross.
close. Not even that.
Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross.
Repeat after Idina Menzel. Thaddeus Ross. No.
What are you talking about?
If you know, the people in the comments know what I'm talking about. If you could butcher a name that badly, you're going to learn how to say Idina Menzel first. Mr. Travolta. Okay, there you go. And then Thaddeus Ross.
Thunderbolt Ross.
I'll say it because Cito's having a sandwich or something, and the last thing you want him trying to say with a full mouth is Thaddeus Ross.
Yeah, I got work later. I definitely busting this down. I was like, yo, I'm eating right now.
That's fine, man. That's fine.
They don't pay us. So
we have Red Wing. And we have Diamondback. So those are the cards coming out this wonderful season. I'm pumping excited for the new season to come out. We haven't seen a video yet of the cards. We do see data mines on it. So I don't think we want to go ahead and dive into it because everything is subject to change. We've seen it before where the video comes out and the card stats change or the ability change. So I don't want us to dive in too much on what we give it. We'll probably do that for our next week episode. But just let you guys know. Huh?
Scored.
What's the matter? Yeah, exactly. Like scoring. Exactly. So we were all pumped. We were talking about scoring double platinum. We were all hyped. Oh my God, score. And then shut down. So yeah, I'm excited for this new season. We got a lot of cool things, ongoing cards. If they stay ongoing, we got a lot of new awesome abilities. And I am pumped for this season. Guys, what do you guys feel this season is going to be better than the January season? Or you guys think it's a very meh season based on the data mines you guys seen so far?
He's chewing, so I got this. So yeah, you go ahead and chew and think, because both need time. I think that this season, upcoming, the February season, is going to be a better season than this past.
Agreed.
I think that the power of Red Wing and Diamondback specifically is going to be enough to take note. Yet alone, Surtur is going to get even stronger because of Thaddeus Ross. And Sam Wilson, Captain America, is going to bring back ongoing as relevant. So I think that a lot of meta shifts end up happening because of these cards more so than what we saw this season. You know, we got the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. deck this season, but I see a lot more well-roundedness coming in February, especially Diamondback, if she releases as she currently is at 3/3 with the ongoing of enemy cards here, afflicted with negative power, have an additional -2, she's broken. Because that's going to be such an insane lane with hazmat and shit like that. That's just like, that's an instant win lane because she's like a 3-cost 12 power card. Like it's 15 power card. Excuse me. It's just stupid. So she'll be broken if she releases as she is in the data mines.
They need to change that. Like I'm saying, that's why I don't want to talk about it until we actually see that video. So I know you only see a few of the cards.
I only see a few of them. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and that's where I'm going to end it because I really don't have much. I can't.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, listen,
that's fine.
I thought we see the video beforehand, and it's totally fine. I think it's going to be a better season for sure. I think these cards are going to be different. Like we mentioned, the ongoing. That's why Spectrum got that buff. We're going to see some cool things happening. Maybe Moonstone gets some more love too with all these ongoing cards. But I'm more excited for Sam Wilson, Captain America, because not only does it bring something different and bring back some ongoing awesome abilities, this wonderful shield of his might even work with the original Captain America, which I think a lot of people will be happy to know if it does, right? So big excited, pumped for next season. Speaking of which, let's talk about how happy the wonderful community has been. I've seen the Reddits, I've seen the tweets, I've seen the blue skies, I've seen the YouTubes, I've seen it all. Okay. Everybody has been happy with the compensation that we received yesterday as of this recording. I'm talking people coming back into Marvel Snap, people loving Marvel Snap. Yeah. You know what? That's all it took, guys. Give people a lot of shit and they'll be happy. All right. Now, that word shit, we got to talk about a little bit because it's a very awkward word when it comes to the English language, right? Because if you give us shit, it's good. But if I give you shit, it's bad, right? So it's very interesting how you look at the word shit. You know, it's a very, all depends on the context of the word when you say shit. Because if you say, look at all this shit, it's bad. But you said, hey, give all the people a bunch of shit and they're happy, right? It's a very weird word. Nonetheless, compensation. That was a...
Hang on, I'm still looking for the point here. Wait.
I love to get these guys round up on this show. It was Smooth Brother before, and now it's the word shit. Nonetheless, compensation.
Super shit.
Phenomenal. Second dinner definitely delivered. Everybody was excited. Everybody was happy. I love to see the energy with the community stand behind what Second Dinner has done. They didn't have to give compensation out, but they did. And what's crazy is some of the people overseas who were supposed to get a lower compensation end up getting a larger. And what did Second Dinner say? We know it's an issue. Keep it and enjoy it. So guess what, guys? Compensation around for everybody. I'm happy. This gets a double diamond for me. Sino, how do you feel about the compensation that Marvel Snap has delivered for
you're not gonna
people?
You're not gonna get no heat from me over here. I remember calling up SuperTechGod. I was like, this is crazy. I got borders, I got mad variants, I got gold, I got credits, I got boosters. I was like, this was correct. I'm like, yo, this was awesome. I'm really happy with the compensation that we got from this. They didn't have to go so hard, and they did. So you got to give them credit for that. And that's not me joining the Employee of the Month squad. That's just me being real. Yeah. Nah, that's just me being real and factual. Because this is not something that certain people benefited from. This is something we all benefited from. We all got crack shit. We all got overcompensated, if you really think about it, right? So I'm completely happy with it. It brought back people who hated this game, and then they come out, oh, this is great, this is awesome. I got all this. So if they think about it, right? If you think about it, if we were to up the tokens or up the credits just a tad bit in the track and stuff like that, that same feeling that you're getting for the overcompensation, you would have throughout the game, because you would feel a little bit more fair in card acquisition. I'm talking about, like, as far as getting cards, like getting your tokens, getting your credits, getting boosters. When you're getting to like tickets, gold tickets for
Conquest.
Thank you. When you're getting, just borders, or you know what I mean? It's or avatars. It's not, you get that. It just decreases your enjoyment a little bit. It's just like, I did all this for this. But if we could just increase the compensation just a little bit on the tokens and the credits, I feel like we can keep this kumbaya feeling that we got going with the game. You know what I mean? I just feel like people will be able to get the cards they want. You just be more it would be more of a happy environment. But I'm completely satisfied with the compensation that we got. I appreciate them going all out on that one.
Totally agree. And like, just like you, my cousin called me right away. It was just like, this is amazing. My little brother called me. He's like, oh, you didn't tell me. This is good. Like, everybody just reached out and it was just so happy about it. And I was like, I'm happy. You guys are happy. And, you know, a lot of people on Twitter was like, oh, I could be SuperTechGod for a day. And you know what? Yes. Yes, you were. You were SuperTechGod for 24 hours. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
SuperTechGod. SuperTechGod didn't get a vote. Yeah, I did.
Oh, shit. You know what? You're right. And when I mentioned that to guests told me it's my problem. Deal with it. Before guest says his piece on it, I'm going to say I was on stream yesterday. I was going to open my conversation and the destructive one came in. That's your guy from your channel.
Yep.
The destructive one came in and said, hey, Tech, I didn't open mine and you should open yours because, you know, you have all the variants. So all you're going to get is avatars and gold. You should wait till the new season start. And I said, you know what, destructive one? That's why you are the MVP here. So thanks to Destructive One and everybody else in the chat who told me, wait until the new season, Tech, because you already got all the variants. What you going to do? Just get avatars? And they're right. So I didn't open my compensation yet, but I did see, I do scroll up and down and smile at all the wonderful things I see there. And I
Destructive One, you are officially banned in me and Guess's channels now.
Nah, he is the man. No.
Shout out to Destructive One, you to go, bro. I'm just messing.
All right, so Guess, how do you feel on the conversation?
I mean, what has said has been said. It was just absolutely above and beyond. I had people coming back into my chat that had not been in a stream in months because they were like, hey, we get this. Does everybody get this compensation? Wait, okay, so maybe I'll reopen the game again. You know, like it brought people back, not just, you know, for those who were active and then were affected by the outage. It was a much broader audience where it's specifically bringing people back. Hence why they also named it the Welcome Back package. Like this would be great to see them do, no joke, this time of year, every year. Just like hey, if you forgot about us, why don't you reopen the game here in January? See what's happened in the year that's been gone. Let's just give everybody in the world resources. Have fun, do with it what you want. At least you got to see what you've missed over the last year. Like, wait, there's this new game. There's this, like, every 6 months, every year, just send out like a massive, not even, you know, it's not a compensation package. It's just the welcome to 2025, 26, 27, etc. package. Yeah. Like that would be amazing. I would love to see them do that because that's what ended up happening. And I think was, you know, the thing they should take away from this more so than the compensation due to what happened negatively. Look at the reaction you got because of it. And you can use that to your marketing advantage in the future. Like, hey, let's bring people in right now. Look at what that did. Because I don't think it affects the economy.
Like I was saying last week, it was almost as big as when launch came out. The popularity and everybody talking about it, right? So
okay, so I want to speak about that in particular. Hang on.
Okay,
got to put the dog down because he wants to lay down.
People who couldn't install it for a couple of days, they were dying.
Well, that too, yeah. But no. So a lot of people were talking about that in particular. That Marvel Snap was, you know, being talked about more than it ever had been before. In many ways, this is true. However, the statistics and where they got that information from was slighted. The way that you research it more often than not, especially as a content creator, is you use Google Trends, because in Google Trends, you can look at the searchability and the interest for those who are looking to find it, as well as the results in which you do find it on certain keywords for YouTube as well as Google. And the search results on Google were through the roof because so many different articles were being posted about Marvel Snap. So the second you search the word Marvel Snap, 10 times more resources that had never talked or hadn't talked about the game in a year or plus or whatever, you know, if they're not putting out regular content about monthly releases and cards, you know, this is just news reporting. Yes, it brought interest because more eyes were seeing, oh, look, this game got affected on it. Just like when you're scrolling through Twitter and then I see an update about something that Shroud said. I didn't watch Shroud before Marvel Rivals really very often, but okay, I'm watching more Shroud content because Marvel Rivals is relevant currently in my news feeds. So it's like, it's that kind of an effect. So it was just, even as you scroll the internet, you'd see little tabs and pieces of information. And that's what led to the large search results. I don't think it necessarily led to a large interest in the game. It led to a large search result of the game, where people saw it and it put the impression in their mind. What that converts into, we will have to find out if it brings enough of a new audience from it.
So you feel like the search numbers are misinterpreting the interest as far as
correct. That's 100%. Yeah. Search numbers and results numbers are different than, the number of eyes that saw the term then were brought into the game. The ROI of having that article on their front page. What does that turn into? So it was a little slighted. It brought a lot of attention to the game. That's different than interest to the game. So I want to put that out there as part of this part one. Part two, with the compensation package. For those who have not heard, Second Dinner is also aware of the issue happening in Puerto Rico, where Puerto Rico did not receive the U.S. compensation package.
What?
Yeah, the majority of players in Puerto Rico did not receive the U.S. compensation package. They received the international one. This was a server mistake. They are aware of it, and they are trying to figure out how to address it most appropriately. So that is also happening too. So just throw that out there, because yeah, I know you're going to protest. That's fine. But
protest.
Yeah. So they are aware of it. They are trying to figure out what's going on with that. Want to bring that to the forefront. Shush you.
Yes, sir.
But as he puts up the flag, great.
Yes, man.
You're gonna be real disappointed when he sees that reversed on my stream, because I have your camera flipped around. But but I do think the compensation package was beyond over the top. It was great. I expected it to be massive. I didn't expect it to be that large of a compensation package. That was just ridiculous. And very healthy for the community. Great environment.
Agreed.
Super proud thing. But if it's okay by you, I had something brought to my attention that I think we kind of need to rewind on, because by the time this podcast goes out, it will probably be in more places about, all over the internet. And this does also pertain to my area of the world, Brazil, because it has to do with Marvel Snap and the most recent OTA. So we're gonna take a rewind back just for a minute to the OTA.
Okay.
Because there was an OTA adjustment that did not happen in the Brazilian copy of the in-game notes. There were two other changes that they decided not to move forward. So I want to talk about them, because I want to hear your reactions to them. I don't know if you've heard about them or if you've seen them yet, but it is going to be out there. I guarantee you it'll be out there, because, it's live in game in certain areas of the community. So in the Brazilian version of the in-game patch notes, the two changes were to Celine and Doom 2099.
Oh, really?
Okay. We'll talk about
what happened.
Okay. So Celine was potentially slated to be changed from her current ability of give -3 power. She's a 1/2 right now, which gives -3 power to the lowest power card in both players' hands. She was going to be changed to a 1/1, possibly, that steals 2 power from the card with the lowest power in your opponent's hand.
Okay.
So 1/1 that gains +2 power by taking 2 away from your opponent's card that's already in their hand. So the way I looked at it was very similar to, well, that's kind of old Silver Sable.
Yeah.
A 1/1 that stole 2 power from the top card of the deck, and then they draw it next turn. So it's almost the exact same thing. Yes. And that card got nerfed down to a 1/0 that does that effect. This, it was revered. Old Silver Sable was revered as one of the strongest 1 power cards in the game, because it was essentially a 1/5. This is literally doing what would have been doing the exact same thing. And I can see why this one had been rescinded, because that's, that obviously did not go live, but there's screenshots of it that it almost did. This has happened before. I've mentioned it here on this podcast where they've made potential adjustments ahead of time or ideas for adjustments that they have to, kind of have programmed ready to go in the game, because that's how they do it with the new verse. It's called localization. And then
like Venom, I remember. Yeah.
Right. The Venom was the 4/5 change that never happened. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
So this did not go through with that Selene effect. I want to hear your reactions to the Selene effect. Would you have liked to have seen that or not?
No. I like Selene the way she is right now. I like her giving, again, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cards, doing those cool things with RNG and getting cards in your hand. And I prefer the current Selene over this change because, as you mentioned before, Silver Sable does that already just with the card you're about to pull. She's going to do it with the card that's in your hand. Wait, hold on. I'm wrong. Selene is not. I'm thinking Victoria.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, bro, what are you talking about with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, what? Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're going left.
Yes. Blame Guess and the elixir. The elixir. Selene. You know what? I really don't give a crap about this card. They can do whatever the F it wants to do. I don't like Selene anyway. I'm done. That's my take.
If I'm not mistaken, because I'm officially confused now with his. Selene is the one that takes away from your lowest powered card, correct?
Yeah, it would have been. It takes with
the goblins. You use her with goblins.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, right. It gives -3. Right. It gives -3 to both players. Yeah. Lowest power card.
Okay, I'm not crazy. My bad. I thought I was all out there for a second.
Yeah, no.
She's not from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so calm down.
No, I like Selene the way she is. I think that's fine. I think it works well. I think she has her own avenue. Making her like that makes her too much like Silver Sable, like Gus was saying. Yeah. We have a card that does that, and even that card needed to be adjusted, right? So for balance. Yeah. So I think that was addressed. I don't think there's a reason to keep going down that avenue and then making new problems. You know what I mean? Making old problems, new problems. It just doesn't make any sense. I think Selene's fine the way she is. She has a purpose. Even if you wanted to knock down the hood a little bit, and then Viper it over or send it over with a Nihilist, that has purpose. It has an avenue. That's what that does. So let's not change that. Let's keep that the way it is.
Yeah. So that was one. That was one of the changes. The other change was Doom 2099, and they were bringing it down from a 4-2 to a 4-1.
4-2 to a 4-1.
Yeah, that's
so
that's fair. It needs
the only thing it doesn't say, and based on how the way I'm reading the photo, it only would have changed potentially just the original Doom 2099, not the clones.
Yeah, that's fine. It still needs that nerf. It needs.
But is it a nerf?
Yeah. Why is it not a nerf? Because it works with Ravonna now?
Yeah, I was about to say your favorite card, second favorite card. Like you could get it down a whole turn earlier and get another.
But
Doom
are we
bot.
Afraid of Doom 2020? I honestly, whenever I play
right now we are. Right now we are.
It doesn't really hit as hard as I think
it does. It does right now. It needs a nerf somehow.
Oh yeah.
Well, then do me a cardless. I want to try this out. Because honestly, when I play against it, it doesn't scare me. Like I ended up coming out with the victory more often than not. So
depending on what you're playing. If you're playing the negative.
Are the stats high on Doom 2099?
Yes,
right?
Yes. For every other list besides negative or Sage. If you're playing anything else, you're going to lose.
I was saying Surfer.
Especially if they get it down on turn 3 with Zabu or turn 4 and then do some other madness with Iron Lad or, Dr. Doom on 6. It just gets crazy.
It does.
So unless you're playing negative or Sageless, you're not. You could lose. I was playing
Surfer and I competed with it just fine.
Surfer is different too. Surfer,
but I did have Red Guardian. I was turning off a Doom. You know what I mean? Like I was doing things to disrupt. I think you could play around it. No, am I wrong? Like
it's a very strong deck. I mean, every deck has a counter. Let's be honest here. Every deck has a counter. However, it is a very consistent deck, and it's what I call. I have a version of it that I've named Fiero because it's just absolutely brainless, and it's super easy to run because it's one card at a time. And because it's one card at a time, you're looking to get Zabu on 1, either, the Doom 2099 or an Iron Lad on 3, Doom 2099 on 4, Legion or said 5-cost card on 5, Doom on 6. Like it's a very simple deck that puts out a lot of power over 3 lanes. And that's why it's strong. Now, obviously this never went live, but it could have gone live. It was an option of something that they could have addressed. I would not have minded this if it also reduced down the Doombot 2099 clones, like the droids or the whatever they are. I forget the those bots. Yeah, the Doombots. Doombot. That's right. So if it reduced down the Doombots, totally about that. If it's only Doom 2099, I think the card gets better. But if it also hits the Doombots, I think that's massive. So I'm glad it didn't release in that sense.
All right. That's fair. I'm with you. I mean, I'm good either way. I think it needs a nerf somehow. Maybe that's not the best route, but I'm glad to see that they, I'm assuming this change was happening because of the different publishers and probably the pushing of the servers and everything else, the propagation of the servers. So, it is what it is. They didn't release it here, and I'm sure they're looking at other tweaks, and maybe we'll get it in the future. But my take on it was I'm happy to make the cut.
Yeah, 100%. Because I remember when was it? There was another one that it had done that where they released it in not the Venom one. They had released it in the notes. It didn't happen, but then the following OTA, they did make it happen. It was like wasn't it? Oh, it was Yondu. I think it was right before the Baron Zemo season. Yondu had been in a OTA note, but then didn't get adjusted. And then the following OTA, they said, well, yeah, it's true. So I wouldn't be surprised if something of this nature does come to life, because Celine is a card I think that needs it more because it's a buff up versus a bring down. Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting because I got the screenshots from the Brazilian version of the game, and I'm like, interesting. I thought it was worth noting before we move on to the crown.
That was
so it didn't make the cut. Unlike you wonderful people who can make the top 8 cut come this weekend when it comes to the crown, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. We have a phenomenal event happening this weekend. That's right, February 1st and February 2nd. It is free to enter. Just go ahead over to the link down below and come hang out in the Discord. Got any questions or concerns? The way it works is very simple. On day 1, February 1st, your match could be casted by Sino and Perry Mal. Now, all you got to do is enter, play your rounds. We have 5 rounds. You win your games, lose your game, doesn't matter. If you make the top 8, you will move on to February 2nd. And that's where myself and Binks will be casting the top 8 matches to see who is the winner of the crown. And along with that wonderful title, you also get part of the $500 prize pool, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Yes, it's already $500. We do have a donation link, so people do add to it. You could potentially win more. We got giveaways. We got prizes. So for those who are not in the event but want to partake and come hang out with us, you can win some amazing prizes as well. So make sure you guys come on down to the crown, link down below, and come hang out in the Pyro on Discord and have a good time with us. All right.
Trying to sit on the throne? Enter the crown. Let's go.
Let's do it. That's right. Now, we've been doing this for almost half a year now, guys. We thought it was a year, but that's what happened when you drink some of this awesome elixir.
You don't carry the one.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. And we want to, talk about a little bit about the year 2024 of the Marvel Snapcast. Now, going into that wonderful new season, Cino and I did a few different things going into the new year of 2024. We kicked things off with our first and only Marvel Snap podcast that had in-person members, right? We used to do what we did for like 2 months where Cino will come on by and we'll shoot the podcast in real life. He could see me, I could see him. We had awesome different segments. We had every different Cino was there. We had funny skits. We had a good time. We got some love for the community. It was a great time.
We missed Talking Tech where he was
that's right. In my mind, huh? Respectfully.
SuperTechGod now. That's Super Butter.
Oh, the butter.
Yeah, with the butter.
Spread
Over the
butter.
over the toast. That's right.
Yeah, you just did it wrong. It just sounded so bad. But
Over the toast.
yeah, like this is bad.
Oh my God, something wrong with y'all.
Keep going.
This is what happens. See, this is exactly what happens. And at that point, we're having a good time. We were enjoying Snap. You guys were riding with us, having a blast as well. And then we came across this gentleman, the man who sacks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. We said, hey, we like guests. Guests been doing some awesome other podcasts with some other awesome talented members in the Marvel Snap community. And guest was like, hey, I'll hang out with you guys and talk Snap all day. Why not? Let's make it happen. So, we all spoke about it. We thought it'd be a great fit. And 6 months later, we're here. We've done awesome things, have awesome events, discuss amazing topics as well as had some cool and fun guests on the show. No pun intended.
A lot of great laughs.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
We can't stop laughing on this podcast. And you guys have been telling us in the comments, you guys have been telling us on Apple, on Spotify, your thoughts of the team. And with this 6 months in, I would love to hear more from you guys. Leave a comment down below. Your chance to also win a Gold Pass. How you guys feel about the 6 months thus far. Now, before you guys have to say anything about that down below, let's hear how Sino feels about the 6 months we've done. So far, me, him, and it's
just overall year so far. The 2024 year, right? Not just the 6 months. But
yeah, of course.
He's discounting that the first 5 months didn't exist, and that when I came in May, that's the beginning of the year. You know?
No. I did speak about early 2024. So
I know.
Yeah, I've just been having a blast. Always have a good time when we come on here and do this. We were doing the IRL stuff for a while, and it was working, and then it got crazy, as it always does, doing things IRL, scheduling and all sorts of things, and then we were going places like PAX and all that other stuff. So it was just PAX, SnapCon, all sorts. So it just wasn't viable for long term, but the skits were fun. Then we moved on. We brought guests in, and we brought a whole nother element, and she really changed it up. And we have a good feng shui and a good flow going. I think it added to it. I think it, you know what I mean. I think everybody brings their own little thing to this. Their own style. So I think it just led to more great times, and yeah. So I'm ecstatic. I can't wait for the future though. We're gonna still rip it up. We're gonna still do big things. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. But yeah, I had a great time. I love being on the show. I'm just happy for when I first came on here. I was just at that point. I was just doing I was just a community member, and then doing this show up to the point where he's like, "Yo, people want you on. You should be a host." Okay. And then I hosted, and then from that time I became a content creator. I've done exclusive tournaments. I've done exclusive content for people. I've networked with big streamers. I've networked with little streamers. I've networked with medium-sized streamers. Pause. I've done a whole lot in such a little span of time. So it's been amazing and overwhelming and eye-opening. So yeah, I can't wait for the future, man. It's been dope.
Love it. Guess how you feel, buddy? You haven't been here that long, but what's your take on? How you been?
So, in my content creation career, over the last 4.5+ years, almost 4.5 years, I've been a part of 5 different podcasts for a variety of different games with a variety of different creators, and I have had more laughs with the two of y'all than I have anybody else. And for me, as someone who likes to talk and makes a career out of talking to a screen, having two people on the other side of the screen not only be willing to let me dish it, but just as much so dish it back and have fun in the process for the last, 8 months, whatever it's been, it has been such an absolute joy to be with the two of y'all and be a part of this, because, it's now such it's such a part of my life that my kids know it's Thursday. Oh, daddy's going to go record his podcast. We have such a groove on what we do here, and then we get to have fun. and talk about Marvel Snap and anything that's pertaining to it, and other games as well that get sprinkled on in, and it's the constant. And for example, I need this weekly. For me, this is such an incredibly healthy thing. Like even today, without talking gloomy, I had a really bad day today. I had a day where I started late, but because I was working on some other stuff, I started stream late and ended stream early because I just wasn't feeling it. I was having a really low day. I took a nap middle of the day, but I knew I was like, I got the podcast tonight. And I look forward to the talk that we have every single week. And it's invaluable to me. So I am honored to continue doing this as long as I can, to say the least, because it is less about Marvel Snap nowadays for me than it is being able to hang out with the two of you. So I love it. And I cheers to you guys.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Cheers. And by the way, if you guys to know, Guess did bring us this when he came to New York. Shout out to Guess.
Yeah. So, I bought him. I brought them both Brazilian cachaça right from here. So that's what they're sipping on. I've got some Chilean pisco with me. We're toasting. Cheers,
guys,
gentlemen.
Thanks again for hanging out. Cheers again to another 6 months and more. All right, guys, don't forget. Yes. Woo. Yeah, I know you were choked up earlier. You were getting that in the back of your tongue. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Let's go.
That was no joke. There you go.
Joke.
All right, guys.
I think he's got to work later too.
Yeah, no, I'm about to be lit at work. Let's go.
Don't push no buttons. Don't push no buttons. All right, guys. Until next week, have a new season. We have some fun. You guys enjoy, and we catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I love when you watch this back and you hear it. He did podcasts with a lot of tatted people. You didn't try to be talented. You did not say talented. You said tatted. I was like, oh, they tatted. All right.
Yeah.
He did a podcast with a lot of
You didn't know about the back piece that Default Dan has? Yeah.